Tonight, caught in the crossfire and ready to come home.
They would drive us to the Turkish borders, and from there we need to figure out our way. I don't speak Turkish, and I don't speak their language.
An Ottawa man who went to the Middle East with family for his own wedding before the war in Iran, now stuck in Baghdad and looking for options to fly back home. From Gatineau to Barrhaven with patience.
Clearly right now with the bus shortage and with the spalling issue, there are technical concerns.
An arduous and lengthy trek as our Ottawa's Worst Commute series continues. And Quebec's claim to Poutine fame.
St. Albert should be part of it because we're the biggest one and the oldest one.
How will a push to connect that province with a Canadian favorite impact an Ontario player that many in our region think is the very best, with a little gravy on top? Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest on the war in Iran. The U.S. and Israel continue to heavily bombard the country for the 7th straight day. Iran retaliating by firing missiles of its own, and there is no end in sight for the conflict, with U.S. President Donald Trump calling for Iran's, quote, unconditional surrender. CTV's Adrian Gabriel is in Turkey with the latest.
Friday's prayers at Tehran's Grand Mosque punctuate 7 days of war across the Middle East. Spilling into the streets, thousands of Islamic Republic regime supporters protest the killing of their supreme leader. One man holding up a sign that reads in Farsi, "Death to America." As air raid sirens sound in Tel Aviv, warning of an incoming Iranian missile strike, Israeli and U.S. forces have vowed to increase their ever-intensifying onslaught across Iran. The IDF releasing this video, a barrage of bombs fired by roughly 50 Israeli fighter jets on the first day of this war. The target, an underground military bunker where Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, may have been killed. On the outskirts of Adana, Turkey, a group of elders hold court at this table. The heated discussion of this day, Iran's right to defend itself after a NATO base in this city shot down an Iranian missile in Turkish airspace. Hassan Berdogan questions, why are we spending money on war instead of helping people? Abdul Rahman chimes in saying he believes Iran has the right to hit any country that has a U.S. base.
We're in southern Turkey, which borders both Syria and Iraq. Now, this neighborhood is called Anadolu. It's home to a community of refugees, many living in poverty. They know the toll of regional war all too well.
We met 12-year-old Fuad, who wants to be a police officer. His 12-year-old friend Hassan wants to be a singer. Each of their families fled war in Syria. They tell us that it feels like danger has followed them since the day they were born. We are worried because it feels like everyone is dying, says young Fuad.
Do you have any hope to go back to Syria?
The country is our country, says Hassan. When the war is over, we will return. Though when that will be possible is anyone's guess.
Are you worried for future generations in this region?
Yes, we are worried, says this elder. The war is feeding the rich. The powerful are having their way while people die.
And tonight, multiple reports citing American officials who say Russia is now providing Iran with location intelligence to target U.S. assets in the Middle East. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Adana, Turkey.
The growing conflict means thousands of Canadians are stranded in the Middle East and asking for the federal government's help to get home. The Foreign Affairs Minister says flights are being booked for Canadians in Dubai and Beirut, but those in neighboring countries where the airspace is still shut down are trapped. CTV's Kimberly Fowler spoke with an Ottawa man in Iraq today. Kimberly.
Patricia, Ali Dhaif works here at the Bell Ottawa Meeting Building, and he's currently stranded in Baghdad. Now, the airport to Iraq has been shut down. He's desperate to come home, but for now has no way to get out of the region.
I want to come home as soon as I can.
Getting caught up in the Middle East conflict is something Ali Dhaif never expected.
We've seen things in the sky. I heard airplanes on top of where we're at. I'm not sure if it's the Iraqi forces or the American military.
What should have been the last steps in a major milestone interrupted by war.
I decided to go there and get married. It should be a fun time, but it's also a stressful time for me.
Dhaif, who works in the Bell Media Ottawa building, went to Iraq in January to get married and is now waiting to get his marriage license before flying back to Canada next week. But with the airspace closed, he doesn't know when he'll be able to get home.
If the airports don't open, I need to find a way out.
My team is sourcing all means of transportation for Canadians to leave the region as a whole.
He's one of 108,000 Canadians who have registered with Global Affairs in the region. 3,500 have asked for help from the government to get out.
Step by step, we are ensuring that Canadians can leave through three means, either through our chartered flights, through block bookings on existing airlines, and by ground transportation. Seaway is always another possibility, but we are cognizant of the dangers of traveling through this means of transportation at this time.
Some Canadians were able to get to Canada on a flight from Dubai Friday, but no plans have been announced to get citizens like Dhaif safely out of Iraq.
We'll have to rent a driver with a car, and they would drive us to the Turkish borders, and from there we need to figure out our way. I don't speak Turkish, and I don't speak their language.
Dhaif says he's safe for now and hoping the conflict de-escalates.
If everything works perfectly, the war would end, and I can catch my flight on the 12th straight to Amman, Jordan, and from Jordan straight to Montreal, and then I'll be in Ottawa as soon as I can.
So for now, all Dhaif can do is wait and stay in contact with Canadian officials to monitor the situation closely in hopes that flights from the Middle East will resume in the coming days. Patricia.
CTV's Kimberly Fowler live for us tonight. Thank you. And as this war drags on, it continues to drive up prices at the pumps. Here in Ottawa, the cost of gas jumped overnight. Prices were hovering around $1.48 at stations in Ottawa today, but you may want to fill up this evening because prices are expected to increase significantly again overnight by another 7 cents, plus another 3 cents Sunday. Iran is blocking the Strait of Hormuz, a key global shipping route for oil tankers. Stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the war in Iran. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel at any hour. As we continue our series looking for Ottawa's worst commute, tonight we travel from Gatineau to Barrhaven. This was a route that was taking so long, councillors voted to extend the transfer window. Earlier this year, we tagged along on one person's afternoon commute to get a real-time snapshot, starting at Place du Portage in Gatineau, where we hopped on the number 13 bus to Tunney's Pasture. From there, it's another bus to Fallowfield Station. CTV's Tyler Fleming rode the bus and joins us in studio now with more on this. Tyler.
Yeah, Patricia, this trip looks simple on paper. 2 buses, no trains. But many say if the first bus is late, the whole trip can unravel. I joined one commuter on her weekday journey home. Here's a look at how it went.
There's 0 minutes.
No bus yet, but no surprise.
It's a disaster most of the days.
Christine Solomon says the commute home from Gatineau to Barrhaven is a route plagued with delays.
It took me over 2 hours to get home that first day back after the holiday break.
It seems like a simple 2-bus trip. The first is a mere 5 minutes late.
Usually 15, 20 minutes, so yeah.
Are we going to make our connection?
Probably.
Okay, but we might have to run. For now, we're in transit on the number 13 bus from Place du Portage in Hull to Tunney's Pasture Station. 16 minutes. But this transfer point is typically where the commute crumbles.
Before April of last year, there was the non-stop bus, which was perfect.
Last spring, OC Transpo overhauled its bus routes, creating connections to the O train, even where lines are not yet available.
That transfer was added as a kind of like a final state when the western extension of the LRT opens.
Solomon says the transfer adds 20 minutes.
We're going to make the connection.
Because our first bus wasn't too delayed, no need to run, but I could see why you would have to.
The very last bus stop at the end.
Here it's packed, but there are express options.
The 277, the 275, and the 279.
But only one goes to Half Moon Bay, and it just arrived.
We could just get on this one.
It fills up fast. The next bus is about an hour out. We aren't alone.
We'll wait.
It was too full. 300 people on it.
You go to Half Moon Bay?
Yeah, Barrhaven. I can even go to Fallowfield. I'm okay with Fallowfield.
But is this a daily frustration for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Many here say the route needs more articulated buses to handle demand.
So that means you're going to be from Tennis Pasture all the way to Follow Field standing up. That's too long. That's too much.
This snapshot, the reason Dina Al-Ansari transferred jobs out of Gatineau.
If I get a call from school or a child is sick or injured or whatever, I cannot go home. I have to Uber, and that's just not practical.
Al-Ansari, like many federal workers, isn't sure transit can handle the 4-day return to office mandate.
We need accessible transit service if you would want us to take it.
We can't build back trust with our transit riders until we have a safe and a reliable system. And clearly right now, with the bus shortage and with the spalling issue, there are technical concerns.
Look at this, 277. Look how many people are now waiting for that.
We get a seat. The ride from Tunney's to Fallowfield, 27 minutes, about an hour total. Solomon says it's a good day. It's usually much longer. What she wants to see is predictability and reliability, because driving to work isn't cheap.
Paying $20 a day, it's not feasible.
So I hopped off at Fallowfield Station, but for those going to Half Moon Bay, easily add on another 15 to 20-minute bus ride, and depending where you live, maybe there's another 15-minute walk or so. That's if the bus shows up on time. Many Barrhaven residents with cars say they just drive to Fallowfield Station instead, because the extra time just isn't worth the hassle. Patricia.
We talked about this on radio, Tyler, and an Uber driver texted in and said he often picks people up in Fallowfield to get them to Half Moon Bay.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much, Tyler Fleming, live for us tonight. And we are still collecting your stories of Ottawa's worst commute. Many of you have described journeys that take 90 minutes, 2 hours, even longer. We have a list of those stories on our website. You can check them out, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, for residents in the West End, Stage 2 LRT construction is causing some major headaches for drivers and financial pain for businesses. For the second time in a year, a section of a major road is set to shut down later this month. Woodroffe Avenue will be fully closed to traffic between Richmond Road and Deschenes Street starting in late March and is not expected to reopen until the fall. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us live now with more on this. Caitlin.
Yeah, Patricia, according to Area Councillor Teresa Kavanagh, this latest shutdown is unexpected after it reopened last December. Residents were under the impression future closures would be short and intermittent. Now that same stretch of road is being closed again for months.
2 kids and 5 haircut. This is less than 200. 200, how can to survive it? How can
For nearly 2 years, Alikiki has watched the businesses around him disappear.
2-3 stores. So people did shut down. It's real, guys. It's not joke.
Construction along a stretch of Richmond Road has been underway since 2024, part of Ottawa's Stage 2 LRT expansion. Last fall, the busy intersection at Richmond and Woodroffe was closed for months. And now another major shutdown is coming.
I feel in stress. Always headache. Always there is something in the corner, here, there, from the construction, from the city, from the landlord. Guys, it's too much for us.
Starting at the end of this month, Woodroffe Avenue between Richmond Road and Deschenes Street will close until the fall, cutting off one of the entrances to the plaza. And for small businesses like his, Kiki says it could be devastating.
I'm the owner here. Every day I came here, and until now, if I came from that side, it's confusing for me. Imagine for new people.
Pedestrians in the area say the constant construction and detours have made it harder to get around.
It's very difficult navigating because those sidewalks are awful. A lot of potholes in the roads.
And Kiki says that difficulty is costing him customers. He says sales have dropped so much he recently took out a $50,000 loan just to stay afloat.
We need solution, guys. We need tax break. We need tax credit. We need some support.
The area councillor says the construction will also create challenges for commuters.
It's not good news, and I think we still have to continue to push on this. I think the best thing is to get this done as quickly as possible.
As for Kiki, he says he came to Canada with a dream of owning his own business. Now that dream, he says, has turned into a nightmare.
I'm working 7 days a week, 13 hours every day. I cannot continue like this, guys, because I am human.
And Kavanaugh says there is no exact date on when the construction will be complete and says, according to the construction company, the closure is necessary to allow for ongoing replacement of sewer infrastructure and the final road reconstruction. Patricia?
All right, CTV's Caitlin Wilson live for us tonight. Thank you. Still ahead is it time to kick the tires on a new bike. For those who can't wait to get rolling this spring, a chance to test ride something new, learn a skill, or stock up on gear at the Gatineau Ottawa Bicycle Show. That story coming up. Well, here's a live look now through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. 0 degrees out there in the capital tonight. Things are expected to warm up significantly by this time tomorrow. Jackie is in studio with more on the weekend forecast and beyond. Jackie?
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. Those mild temperatures and heavy rainfall will likely cause a lot of snow melt, and that could lead to some flooding. Now, a flood watch has been issued for the Rideau Valley watershed in the North Gore area and for the Stevens Creek and Taylor Drain area in North Gore. Officials say it is widespread significant flooding is not expected at this time, but it doesn't mean we are anticipating significant rainfall. Now, this is a look at the rainfall warning in place for Ontario, really taking up most of the province. Not quite here yet for Ottawa, but Smiths Falls, Brockville, Kingston, Belleville area affected. 15 to 40 millimeters of rainfall anticipated here in Ottawa. We are anticipating between 15 and 20 millimeters. This gives you an idea of when we can see it. A lot of this happening in the overnight hours of early Saturday morning. There is a chance of isolated thunderstorms as well. And you could already see that with the yellow in Peterborough. We can also see it there for Kingston Saturday morning, but here in Ottawa, it should subside by the afternoon, but it is likely to return late in the evening. We'll get a closer look at your forecast in just a bit, but right now, overnight conditions anticipating 3 degrees overnight, and tomorrow, a daytime high of about 11 degrees. Patricia.
Ottawa police are looking for 2 suspects after an alleged assault at an apartment building. Police say the incident happened on December 20th in the stairwell of a building on Dines Road near Hogsback. 2 men allegedly assaulted the victim. The first suspect is described as a black man who was wearing an orange hoodie and black vest. The second described as a black man wearing a black winter coat with black and white sneakers. Ontario Provincial Police are looking for the driver of a snowmobile that went through the ice in eastern Ontario. The incident happened sometime between noon Wednesday and noon Thursday on Arden Lake. That's about 90 kilometers northwest of Kingston. Police say there were footprints leading away from the hole in the ice, but they want to make sure the person is safe. Anyone with information is asked to call the Frontenac OPP. Prime Minister Mark Carney is wrapping up his 9-day trip around the world, signing a new partnership with Japan. But Canada's upcoming review of its free trade deal with the U.S. could play a factor. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports from Tokyo.
Japan welcomed Prime Minister Mark Carney with O Canada, while Carney offered up some Japanese. Like in India and Australia, the Prime Minister is trying to show the Indo-Pacific Canada has what the world wants. In Japan, that's Canada's energy, especially LNG, and food.
We do much, but we're ready to do much more. And that's a common theme of our government. So my government was elected with a clear mandate to build boldly with a speed not seen in generations.
Canada and Japan announced a new strategic partnership boosting trade, energy, and defense.
We need to be doing a lot more with Japan and with Korea when it comes to understanding the threat from China and Russia to Canada's, basically Canada's western part of our Arctic.
Kuzma is very important part of the calculation.
But nearly 3/4 of cars made in Canada are Japanese, providing thousands of Canadian jobs. And Japan is watching the review of the Canada-US-Mexico Free Trade Agreement closely.
I think that is the critical condition. Because Canada is, of course, a G7 country. Your GDP is one of the top 10 countries, $2.5 trillion. But you know the size of the U.S. market, $30 trillion.
I think the Prime Minister laid out this evening during his meeting with Prime Minister Takaichi that Canada is in a pretty solid position. Of course, the negotiations will start formally with the United States in the weeks and months ahead.
The Prime Minister has a host of business meetings Saturday, including with some of the big Japanese automakers. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Tokyo.
Meantime, Prime Minister Carney and Alberta Premier Daniel Smith have reached an agreement in principle to fast-track the construction of major projects in that province. Carney and Smith say they will move forward while respecting the rights of Indigenous communities. Officials say the framework could reduce bottlenecks and clear the path for large developments such as energy and infrastructure projects, including future pipeline proposals. And Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is in Washington meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump's trade czar. LeBlanc says he introduced Jameson Greer to Canada's new chief trade negotiator and Canada's newly appointed ambassador to the U.S. The meeting comes ahead of the mandatory review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. Well, there is momentum in the battle for equal recognition as the world marks International Women's Day this Sunday. There are achievements in sports, politics, economics at unprecedented levels. Ottawa is celebrating a trailblazer on the Supreme Court today. CTV's Natalie Van Roy has more on that. Natalie.
Patricia, she was appointed as the first Jewish woman to the Supreme Court of Canada in 2004. And today, former Justice Rosalie Silberman Abella sharing insight on being a woman in a male-dominated workplace and why being true to yourself is the real way to succeed.
I didn't feel like a trailblazer. I was just doing what a client asked me to do, what a women's group asked me to do.
Former Justice of the Supreme Court of Canada, Rosalie Silberman Abella, was the first Jewish woman appointed to the court.
I didn't know in law school or in my own life that life was exclusionary for women. And from my clients, I knew how very unfair the laws were.
The city of Ottawa honoring her ahead of International Women's Day. A packed room. Honored to be present.
Rosie Abella was really incredible. I grew up following all the court decisions of the Supreme Court. I feel very lucky because of Justice Abella's decisions. I was able to marry my wife.
Abella was born in a displaced persons camp in Germany before her family came to Canada as refugees in 1950. From there, she dreamed big of being a lawyer and quickly rose through the ranks during her career.
To hear from a Jewish woman, especially in these times of heightened anti-Semitism, to hear her speak so proudly, so strongly about how important her Jewish identity is to her was so meaningful and touching and inspirational. It was truly an honor to be here.
A married mother of two, Abella says raising her family the toughest job because of how important it was. She shared this message on finding the right workplace.
You need to be where you can be who you are, because if you keep trying to fit yourself into a square peg and you're round, I find round gets bigger and bigger every year. You won't be happy.
For about 100 years, International Women's Day has celebrated achievements. Over the years, the day has marked gender parity and raises awareness on discrimination. Now it comes at a time when more women than ever are excelling in sport, leadership, and politics. Ottawa will host a number of International Women's Day events this weekend, including FemFest, a soiree, a luncheon, a run, and a market in the Glebe. Abella retired from the Supreme Court in 2021 and is now a visiting professor at Harvard University, among other roles in academia. Patricia.
Very inspirational. CTV's Natalie Van Roy live for us tonight. Thank you. I'll dare you to get through this newscast without wanting poutine. The cheese curd battle playing out between two provinces. That story is coming up. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. We got significant rainfall moving in through the region for Saturday. Much of it will be in the early morning and late evening. So what does that mean for the St. Patrick's Day parade? Well, if you are heading down 8 a.m., it will be very windy really throughout our Saturday. It's going to be periods of rain. By 10 p.m. or 10 a.m., I should say, we'll get some light showers moving through. Noon is when the parade starts. This is cloudy conditions, and it should be dry in time for the parade to finish up. Now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam showcasing downtown Ottawa. Clear night for this evening so far. Current temperature sitting around 0.
Today's snow report brought to you by Calabogie Peaks. Play outside at Calabogie Peaks, the big mountain close to home.
And as we take a look at Calabogie Peaks in today's snow report, all 3 lifts are operating. 19 runs are open. Elsewhere in the region, all 4 lifts operating at Boal, 17 of 20 runs. Camp Fortune with 5 of 7 lifts and 17 runs. Edelweiss 2 of 5 and 18 runs. And over at Mont Cascade, 4 of 6 lifts are operating, 17 of 21 runs available to skiers and snowboarders.
Hey, grab your friends and have some winter fun at Calabogie Peaks.
The big mountain close to home. Find out more at calabogie.com.
Well, poutine is one of Canada's most beloved comfort foods. French fries, gravy, and of course, cheese curds. But now the curds are causing controversy. Quebec producers want special protection for their curds, and some cheesemakers in Eastern Ontario are watching closely. CTV's Josh Morano has more.
At St. Albert Cheese, just east of Ottawa, bags of fresh cheese curds are flying off the shelves.
It's these cheese curds I love.
For Dave Veldstra, it's a tasty tradition. His yearly trip to the region isn't complete without this one purchase.
We're down from London, and every time we're down here, we stop here to pick up the fresh cheese curds.
But the iconic squeaky cheese that has people lining up is now at the center of a debate over poutine's key ingredient.
It's a good news because everybody's talking about cheese curds and poutine, so that's good.
Quebec dairy producers want special acknowledgement. They are pushing for a protected geographical indication, recognizing Quebec curds as the traditional ingredient tied to poutine, similar to how only sparkling wine from France's Champagne region can be called champagne.
Cheese curd is part of when you do cheddar. When you cut the cheddar slab itself, it's making a curds. So curds was not invented by Quebec, so it should not be only known in Quebec.
But for Eric Lafontaine, Director General of St. Albert Cheese, the proposed idea doesn't cut it.
It's not fair that it's only going to be a control name in Quebec and not the rest of Canada, when the rest of Canada has been doing that product for a long time.
Some say where the curds originate isn't their main concern.
If it comes in Ontario or anywhere in Canada, and if you like your product, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Lafontaine says his biggest worry is how the label could dampen long-term sales worldwide.
It's the longer term that we're more concerned, because they want to export that poutine name everywhere else in the world. And for us, we think that St. Albert should be part of it because we're the biggest one and the oldest one.
And the best, according to Veldstra. He'll continue to buy his cheese from St. Albert.
Just the freshness and squeakiness of them isn't like any other.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
It's really good cheese. I would love to be able to do some kind of a survey and find out how many people are opting to have poutine for dinner now because of this story.
Of this. I was
Gets you thinking. Yeah.
I was looking at it, and I know Josh Morano brought some in when he came back, and the cheese was squeaky.
Where is the cheese that he brought in?
Perhaps all gone.
Did not make it to the desk. Yes, squeaky clean forecast. How's it looking?
I wouldn't say squeaky clean. We got a significant amount of rain moving through, but this is good for us. It's going to clear the snow and make way for spring. We already see it moving through the Great Lakes. Current temperature right now is sitting around the freezing mark. It's on a daytime high of 2 degrees. No rain in sight so far. Cloudy skies. This is likely going to happen in the overnight hours and early morning of Saturday. It has triggered a rainfall warning, in fact, for most of the province. Not quite here in Ottawa, Hawkesbury, Cornwall, but again, it is going to produce between 15 to 20 millimeters of rain at least. So some areas much more. This is likely going to start around Pembroke and Ottawa. There is a chance for isolated thunderstorms as well moving through. It will calm down a little bit by the time mid-Saturday morning rolls through. But then again, Saturday evening, we could see more isolated showers and heavier rainfall developing throughout our Saturday evening. So keeping a close eye on this for sure. Strong winds are also in the forecast for our Saturday with gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour. We're going to start things off pretty warm for the tomorrow morning, 8 degrees to kick things off, warming up to about 13 degrees. But again, we will see a pause for these showers and rainfall around the noon hour, but it is likely going to pick up by the time Saturday evening rolls around. Now, tonight's lows across Eastern Ontario, again, not quite the lows. It is warm or colder now than what we're going to see for the overnight. It's going to get warmer to about 3 degrees for most of Eastern Ontario, 5 along the Seaway, about 4 degrees in Montreal. Meanwhile, tomorrow's the daytime highs, yes, double digits for pretty much all of Eastern Ontario. 13 to 14 degrees is the anticipated daytime high. Now, as we look across the country, still pretty warm, cool in Fredericton, Charlottetown, and Halifax, where temperatures are sitting between -4, -2 degrees. That warm up in Windsor at 9 degrees. We've got 2 degrees in Thunder Bay with the rain already moving through very significantly, I should say. But things have warmed up in Alberta, where Calgary is sitting around 11 degrees, still warmer than Vancouver, who's currently at 9 degrees. Now, for the weekend, taking a look after that rainfall moving in, Sunday we'll likely see a mix of sun and cloud. Maybe a little bit of some wintry mix in the morning around the valley, but for the most part, we will see a mix of sun and cloud. Now, the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. Again, a thunderstorm risk could happen for parts of eastern Ontario for Saturday. Isolated thunderstorm risks, windy conditions, daytime high 13 degrees. Don't forget to change those clocks forward by an hour when we get into Sunday. Chances showers will linger, daytime high 5 degrees. But look at this, Patricia, 12 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud to kick off our Monday and our week.
The other nice thing is that by the end of next week, I think we might have just a little smidge of sunshine when we leave the newsroom at 7 o'clock.
A little
right?
bit, yes.
When the sunset.
But I don't know if you
later.
saw, there's a little bit of snows and flurries moving in as well, and a drop in that temperature. So just the tease of spring for this weekend.
We'll get there. Thank you. And beyond the weather, what you need to know about tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day Parade in Ottawa, including the road closures that will be in place in the downtown core. In tonight's big picture, it's a sure sign that spring is on its way. 4 brown bears awoke from their long hibernation at the UK's Whipsnade Zoo earlier this week. They enjoyed basking in the sunshine and rolling around in the green grass. They are expected to become even more lively in the coming days, just waking up. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. The St. Patrick's Day Parade returns to Ottawa's streets tomorrow for the first time since the pandemic, but there is a different route this year. The parade starts at noon tomorrow at the Supreme Court of Canada. It will travel down Wellington Street, then turn onto Sussex Drive before ending on York Street in the Byward Market. There will be road closures in the area. A section of Wellington will be closed from 10:45 in the morning until 2 p.m., and part of Sussex Drive and York Street will be closed from 12:30 until 2. A reminder, the clocks will spring forward an hour this weekend as we enter daylight saving time. Clocks jump ahead Sunday at 2 a.m., meaning we will lose an hour of sleep. Most provinces follow daylight saving time, with the exception of Yukon and Saskatchewan. BC recently announced it's moving to permanent daylight saving time.
Zetterlund came over. Bragg will keep it alive. Far side, one-timer, and they score!
The Sens were in Calgary last night facing off against the Flames. They managed to tie things up in the second period, then Dylan Cousins making it 2-1 in the third. The Sens added 2 more for a final score of 4-1, a big 2 points for them. Ottawa's road trip continues tomorrow with a late game in Seattle. Puck drop is 10 p.m. tomorrow night.
Moved ahead, net shot, rebound, score!
And a quiet day for the Senators on NHL trade deadline day, standing pat after tweaking the lineup yesterday. The team parted ways with David Perron and brought in Warren Foegele. They are still in the hunt for a playoff position, 4 points back now in the wild card race. 8 poker players at the Lac Limi Casino won a share of a $500,000 jackpot last week. One player had 4 kings, but he lost to a player holding a hand of 4 aces. They shared the jackpot in a so-called bad beat. The loser of the hand won $220,000. The winner collected $110,000. Everyone else in the room also got a share of the jackpot.
If we're talking about road cycling, it's aerodynamics, electric bikes versus the first generations.
Well, just ahead, we head to the Gatineau, Ottawa Bicycle Show, where one type of bike is all the rage.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, the snow is just starting to melt and the cycling season is just about to begin. The Gatineau Ottawa Bicycle Show starts today, and this year the energy is truly electric. CTV's Camille Wilson has more.
Cécile Messier eyeing her new ride.
I'm very excited about buying one this year.
Back again at the Gatineau Ottawa Bicycle Show, Mercier was here last year checking out an electric bike and has been thinking about it ever since.
I'm going to go back outside and bicycling more, I'm sure.
The 6th annual Bicycle Show has enthusiasts looking at 2026 new trends and e-bikes taking the lead.
Talking about road cycling, it's aerodynamics, electric bikes versus the first generations. Now the batteries are smaller, the bikes are lighter. Gravel bike is still growing a lot.
Sylvain Saint-Germain traveled from Montreal to see his dream bike.
This is the bike I'm coming to buy. Now this is the best thing since sliced bread. This bike is foldable, as you can see. It's electric, extremely modern. This is like top of the line technology in today's terms.
Experts say the bike market is filled with 60% of electric bikes compared to previous years.
Now just for cruising, portability, see this engine. This is pure electric motor that you want to get for your next bike.
Bikes ranging from $200 to $18,000 and of all sizes from big to small.
We think that bicycles, it's two wheels, but no, it's still evolving. There's so much technology. Now helmets also still evolving. They're more secure for people in case of a fall.
Apart from it being a bicycle fiesta, it's a place to book bike destination trips, get clothing, accessories, and seminars with experts. And if you've never tried a mountain, gravel, or electric bike, here's your chance to test it on the indoor test track. Messier says she gave it a spin last year, but second time's a charm.
It was wonderful. It's very nice because there's a possibility of having power to go up a hill, you know, and it's very nice, but you have to keep pedal, you know, so I'm excited.
The Gatineau Ottawa Bicycle Show is on till Sunday. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
It's a long wait for this one moment to go put everything on the line, and I cannot wait for that moment to come.
Well, just ahead, the Paralympic Winter Games are officially getting underway in Italy. We hear from some of the Canadian athletes competing.
Far side pass, and it's an early shot. He scores!
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Love a Friday night. Time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
Your Ottawa 67s have 2 home games this weekend, one tomorrow versus the Brampton Steelheads and one Sunday against the Peterborough Petes, both, of course, at the arena at TD Place, and both with a 3 p.m. puck drop. Always a lot of fun cheering them on. They've had such a great season this year. Next on the list, also for my sports fans, the Ottawa Gatineau Golf Expo. This runs today and tomorrow at the EY Centre, and it's your one-stop shop for all things golf as we're getting ready to kick off another golf season. Local and destination courses, live auctions, the Canadian Performance Fitting Centre demo range featuring all the latest equipment, even a $10,000 putting contest, and so much more. Make sure you check it out. Last on the list today is the St. Patrick's Day Parade, brought to you by the Irish Society of Ottawa. Tomorrow at 12, bring the family, grab a spot along Wellington Street, Sussex, or in the Byward Market, and see all your favorite local businesses in the parade while you get a head start on your St. Patrick's Day celebrations. As usual, lots more happening around the capital this weekend. Full list and all the details at ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, my name's Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
The 2026 Paralympic Winter Games are officially underway in Italy, with the opening ceremony unfolding this afternoon. Plenty of Canadian athletes will be competing for medals, including the country's sledge hockey team, predicting another Canada-U.S. showdown. Here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao.
After a torch relay that saw the Paralympic flame carried across Italy, it finally made its way to the opening ceremony, where athletes from 50 countries gathered inside the iconic Verona Arena for a display celebrating the start of the 14th Paralympic Games. That'll see 50 Canadians compete, including Tyler Turner, who lost both legs below the knee because of a skydiving accident. He'll take part in para snowboarding after winning Canada's first gold in the sport 4 years ago.
I can't wait. I mean, I've been ready for this for so long. It's a long wait for this one moment to go put everything on the line, and I cannot wait for that moment to come.
Greatness doesn't start in the spotlight. It starts on local trails after school.
As shown in this promotional video, the athletes have been training hard to compete in all sorts of events, including wheelchair curling and para-skiing. With Saskatchewan's Brittany Hudak a top medal hope, an inspiration to others, she's at her 4th Paralympic Games. And when it comes to sledge hockey, the Canadian team predicts they'll again battle Team USA for the gold after winning silver at the last 2 games. The team is being led by Ontario's Tyler McGregor, who lost a leg to a type of bone cancer.
I think for us to be able to represent our sport on the global stage and inspire the next young kid who may be missing a leg or has a disability to maybe dream of one day doing the same, I think that's what success looks like.
Serving as honorary captain for the Paralympic team, 6-time para-skiing medalist Mac Marcoux.
I think across all 5 sports, we have a lot of athletes to keep your eye on. It's almost one of those things you can't look away because you might miss something incredible.
With new heroes and new stories set to emerge over the next 9 days of competition. John Benavalli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
We saw an opportunity here to build on the strong first year.
Coming up, a major investment in professional women's soccer right here in the capital. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. After Saturday's heavy rainfall, we are anticipating a lot more sunshine. Sunday, yes, there is some possible showers, but it's going to be mainly a mix of sun and clouds, similar to Monday. But look at those temperatures. We are definitely in spring-like conditions, where Monday, the daytime high is anticipated to be 12 degrees. Now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where we're sitting around 0 right now. It's expected to get much warmer this evening, where an overnight will be about 3 degrees.
Ottawa's favorite cash contest is back, and it's big. Move 100's $50,000 Beat the Bank. 7 vaults. You decide how much to take home. Sound the alarm, you lose it all. Be listening weekdays for your chance to win.
Monday on CTV, Your Morning Ottawa, it's maple syrup season. Rosie pays a visit to Stanley's old Maple Lane farm to help celebrate their 200th anniversary. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
And here's what's on CTV on your Friday night. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, Happy's Place, Stumble, Battle of the Generations, and Boston Blue. One final check on the forecast, so a bit of a warm-up, maybe even a thunderstorm tomorrow?
Yes, we like the warm-up. The thunderstorm or risk of it, not so much. This is going to happen in the early hours of our Saturday morning, but by 7 a.m., it is anticipated periods of rain. We could have already seen between 10 to 15 millimeters of rain already. And keep in mind, it's going to be quite windy for the Saturday. Daytime high 13 degrees, and the return of rainfall and a risk of thunderstorm will occur Saturday evening. Don't forget to switch your clock forward by 1 hour for Sunday. Daytime high 5 degrees, so a lot cooler. But Monday, back up to double digits at 12 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. And Tuesday, again, chance of showers lingering, but 10 degrees, the daytime high. Don't quite want to look at Wednesday, Thursday, because it's still early, but we are seeing some flurries and closer to the freezing mark. So let's focus on Monday and Tuesday, Patricia and Stefan.
Are we grumpy Monday from the lack of sleep, or are we feeling good because it's going to be 12 degrees?
12 degrees.
Yeah,
good.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Probably start later in the day, so.
Yeah, you're okay. Stefan Keys is working late tonight on the desk at 11:30. What's our team focusing on?
Yeah, Patricia, we are actually focusing on springing forward this weekend, and while changing the clocks by an hour may not seem like much, studies show it can negatively impact one's health. So tonight we'll have a story that discusses losing sleep due to the practice of daylight saving time as the clocks spring forward. We have expert advice to ensure the time change doesn't hurt your health. Sleep deprivation can lead to a whole host of issues, but as my family says, prevention is better than a cure, so hopefully we can get you prepared for that. Join us for that story and more tonight at 11:30.
Gotta fix my sleep eventually. That's on the list.
We'll get there. You and I will both get there.
All right, finally for us tonight, Ottawa's professional women's soccer team will enter its second season under new ownership.
I think the foundations are there, and we want to build that out to really make the Ottawa Rapid an incredibly important community institution.
The Ottawa Rapid FC announcing today Arcadia Maple Leaf Soccer is taking on a significant majority ownership investment in the team. Arcadia joins the club's existing ownership group, which is also increasing its investment. The team starts its second season in April. I had a chance to chat with the new owner today on radio. He sounds really excited about the potential for soccer in this city and women's sports in general, just having a moment, and lots of potential for growth there. So it's nice to hear him speak that way.
He's excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
April 2026.
Why are we looking at all this snow here? I thought, wasn't the snow all melting out there?
We're saying goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye, snow.
Bye, snow. See ya next year.
Oh, there's some green grass there. All right. We're okay. Have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy that parade tomorrow.